for my lovely individuals. For this video, we're going to be talking about WAP. Yes, wet ass puss puss. For this video, is going to be a little more focused on the meaning of the song and how people are interpreting this song and the way people are viewing Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion that I just don't think is cute. So for this Let's Talk Monday, let's talk about how y'all got Cardi and Megan Thee Stallion effed up, shall we? So there has been a lot of positivity that has come out of this video. You know, a lot of people are like, yes, wow, wet ass puss puss, yes, here and there. Yes, absolutely. I think we should be feeling happy that women are taking ownership of their bodies, right? That women are talking about their bodies in the way that they want their bodies to be talked about. Okay? And when I say that, I mean they are taking control of what they say versus somebody labeling them with things or telling them things. We have had a long history of songwriters, rappers who have brought women down, you know, who have used women's bodies as a form of profit. Yes, I said it. As a form of profit, as a form of expression, you know, a form of aggression. Women's bodies have been used as a form of validating men. And it becomes a problem when women want to validate themselves, validate their sexuality, because it becomes a threat for the person who in society, or the types of people in society who have been told that women's bodies belong to them. Right? Because, you know, there's just a lot of people talking about this is horrible for our society to hear women talking about their vaginas in ways. No. If you are going to sit here and talk about how women are talking about their bodies, you need to talk about how men talk about women's bodies. We cannot sit here and ignore the fact that women have been used, spoken of, in ways that is seen as ownership. Women have been seen as being owned for a long time. And there's a lot of songs that we can think about when we talk about women being called sluts, being called hoes. I mean, look, there's a lot of songs that we be bumping. And I'm not saying that we can't bump to these songs, because a lot of these songs be hitting. You know, a lot of these songs we grew up with. We need to give the same level of respect for women that want to empower themselves and talk about their bodies, because they are allowed to do so, because their bodies belong to them. And their bodies do not belong to all of y'all. Because if we want to talk about it, a lot of men that are promiscuous out in these streets, right, that like to do a lot of things with women, are the first ones that want to tell women how to act, how to control their bodies, and want to set limits. And if they do the same thing that you do, they're hoes and they're sluts. If they talk about their bodies positively, if they talk about things that they like to do sexually, oh no, that is only for men to do. We have songs like Pop That. You know, French Montana, pop that, don't stop, pop that, drop that pussy, bitch. Drop that pussy, bitch. Like, these are songs that are popular, and you know, I listen to them and I live for them, but these are the type of things that I'm talking about that pretty much use women's bodies as objects. Like, they're not women no more. They're just an object for a man to feel happy with, an object for a man to feel that they can control, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes to. And not to mention that women's bodies, or women, have been used as puppets in our society, right? Because they are controlled by people, and if they want to gain their control, it becomes a problem. It becomes a threat because of this puppet effect. And the fact that y'all are very uncomfortable with wet ass pussy is ridiculous. Why can't they talk about their vaginas? Why can't they talk about their genitalia without you automatically getting offended? So when the person who is oppressed and brought down takes ownership on something, ownership over something, the control is being lost. So then people feel automatically threatened. Because if the control is taken off, it means that the world is unstable. It means that the norms that have been established are not doing what they were supposed to do anymore, are not putting women down like they're supposed to. Because they're supposed to put women in a place where they are controlled, limited, while also being entertainment for men. It's like the saying, I want her to be a freak in the sheets, but a lady in the streets. That's what society is telling women. I want you to be a freak to me in the sheets, but when you leave this home with me, you need to be kept together, none of that sexual stuff can come out. God forbid women talk about their bodies because it becomes a whole issue, right? But when it comes for your benefit in your environment, when you ask for it, that is okay. So just thinking about women who are creating songs about their bodies, who are empowering other women to feel happy with their sexuality and to explore sexuality overall, it becomes a dilemma. But men talking about women's bodies and how they will take control over it, how they will use it, because it becomes a thing where it's not even a human being now, it's an object. It is a fleshlight. It is a human fuck toy. That's what it turns into. So then the aspect of being a human is being taken out. First song that I think about is Blurred Lines. Come on, Robin Thicke, T.I. and Pharrell. Okay, now he was close, tried to domesticate you, but you're an animal. Baby, it's in your nature. What does that tell you? Try to domesticate you. And even in the video, women are dehumanized in that way, right? We're here for men's entertainment. My body is your entertainment. And y'all might not agree with these songs. And these are some songs that I listen to, but I don't care. I'm still gonna talk about it because people need to listen and understand what they are doing and understand what system they are following by not acknowledging their issues. Because I'm a firm believer that you can listen to these songs and understand the underlying connotations and the messages being sent through the songs, right? Versus just listening to it and not taking that into consideration and believing that that's not the truth. There is a difference. There are many songs, okay, that we need to consider when it comes to this. There are a lot of songs where men talk about their ding-dongs, will talk about how good they can give it. A lot of men talk about their bodies and mostly their body is just their genitalia, mostly is what we hear about. When I think about the song Wowzers by Lil Wayne, my tongue is a Uzi, my dick is a AK, my tongue is a Uzi, my dick is a AK, my tongue go brrr, my dick go bah, my tongue go brrr, my dick go bah. Even in that simple line, that simple chorus, the song hits, let me not lie. But we need to think about this though. Why is he allowed to talk about the stuff that he does with his penis? Why is he allowed to say, here you go, here's information about my penis. I hope you enjoy it. This is what my penis does. This is why I like my penis. My penis, my penis, my penis. But why can't Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion talk about their vaginas? And this is nothing new. This is nothing new because we've had lick it now, lick it good. Suck this pussy just like you should. Right now, lick it good. And when that comes on in the club, we all like, lick it now, lick it good. It's so good, right? Just do it, do it, do it, do it. And I think that y'all should do it too. Y'all should do it and listen. Because it's not okay for y'all to put two women down who are just expressing their artistry and expressing themselves. And something that one of my friends said was like, if you don't like this, there are other artists that you can go to. Each artist will give you different types of feels. If you want an artist that you can be like, I'm chilling, I just want to vibe to, you got that. If you want an artist who's going to talk about relationships, breakups, and how people do them dirty, you got that. You want artists to motivate you, you got that. And do you want an artist to talk about sexuality and positivity for women? You also have that. And let's not act like all these things are not part of a human being, okay? Because women can have all of these parts. Same thing as men. It's like women can only have the first categories, but not the last one where they get to celebrate their sexuality. They can definitely not have that type of music because it rewires them. It rewires what they have been programmed to think about themselves. Because they have been programmed to think that they have to be an object for someone else. But men can have all of these. Men can make a whole song about how someone did them dirty, about empowering their sexuality, talking about what their penis did for them, what their money does for them. But we can't have that for women. That space cannot be allowed for women to have, is what I'm hearing. And not to mention that men are also socialized to think this way. It's like become part of their identities, and it's very limiting for men too. So that's also another thing to consider when empowering women, is that men need to also be empowered and be allowed to have traits that don't only align with what we consider
masculine, or what we consider acceptable. So it's a double-edged sword, because it's affecting all types of individuals from different identities, and it becomes worse when we consider individuals who do not fit in those binary restrictions.
So think about that. What do you think about this conversation? Do you think that what I'm saying is valid? What do you think about the song? I think the song is definitely empowering, and it's nothing new. We know that these artists give us all different types of things. Okay, this is nothing new. We don't know Cardi B as only the invasion of privacy person. We know Cardi B as, let me tell you about my privacy, how my privacy was invaded. Let me tell you about the press. And let me tell you about my sexuality. And even when she's featured on songs, she talks about it. Nicki Minaj, same thing. Cash Doll, same thing. Sweetie, same thing. It keeps on going. Shit, we can even add Janae Aiko into that too. She will talk about sexuality. It is an absolutely normal functioning for women and men, for everybody in between. It doesn't have to be a thing where only men are able to express themselves in that way. And I want you to think about those things, because if this music continues to be made, people are feeling threatened, right? And a lot of people will try to justify this by bringing in other factors, thinking about like religion and other things. And I think that that's more subjective those are more subjective mindsets than objective mindsets. And I think people don't know how to deviate those things. People like to mesh those together. You cannot be subjective and objective at the same time.
Also, music doesn't only represent you, and I think that people need to get out of their heads and get over themselves, because if they only had one type of music, then music would not sell, because different people need different types of music. And being so closed off and not allowing people to have the expression and feel connected with other people through things that are taboo is very limiting. So we need to get over ourselves in that sense.
Especially when you're bringing someone down. How are you going to see all sides to things if you are only seeing your perspective on the situation? So let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this dialogue, this Let's Talk Mondays? And should I continue doing these Let's Talk Mondays? Because I think these are very important topics to have. But I will catch y'all in the next video. See y'all.